What's up, everyone? It's Adam from FWCI Sports and Gaming. This is World Wrestling Straya. Man, have we got a week of stuff to get to. Some huge news today regarding old mate Bronson Reed, AEW, all the rest of the dumbassery. This is World Wrestling Straya, episode 37. But we're going to start things off the normal way with the results from AEW and NXT. So let's start off with NXT. We had Hit Row defeating Legado del Fantasma by disqualification after a whole heap of interference. Ridge Holland defeating Ikemen Jiro by pinfall, and then a bit of a promo from Pete Dunne after the match. Roderick Strong defeated Bobby Fish via pinfall in what I guess is going to be Bobby Fish's final WWE match. More on that later. The Grizzled Young Veterans defeated the Butler Cameron Grimes and LA Knight by pinfall. Grimes as the Butler was hilarious. LA Knight left him alone to fight both of the Grizzled Young Veterans. I would have been actually okay with Grimes getting the win, but GYV getting a dub, which, yeah, they really should because they are a great team. And after that match, it was Ted DiBiase coming down to give Grimes a little bit more advice on, how to deal with this situation. So looks like we might still be leading to DiBiase and Cameron Grimes. We had an awesome video segment with Dakota Kai explaining why she attacked Raquel Gonzalez. Dakota Kai is a awesome promo. I love when she really gets serious like this. So I'm really on board with this Dakota Raquel match that's coming up at NXT TakeOver. I don't know if this means that Dakota will be winning the championship or not, but I would be totally down for that. Trey Baxter defeated Joe Gacy by pinfall to advance in the NXT Breakout Tournament. And in the main event, it was Johnny Gargano defeating Dexter Lumis in the Love Her or Leave Her match, where if Gargano wins, Indy Hartwell's not allowed to see Dexter Lumis anymore. If Lumis wins, that means he gets welcomed into the family and the Garganos give him a chance. Well, it was Johnny Gargano picking up the win after a whole heap of, interference and, kind of distraction-y stuff happening with Indy Hartwell at ringside. But that really didn't matter. Stipulations be damned, Indy Hartwell runs back down to the ring, jumps on top of Dexter Lumis, starts kissing him. So it looks like Index is a thing. Fantastic main event to end NXT. Over on AEW, Chris Jericho would have his next Labor of Jericho against Juventud Guerrera. Juvi's getting up there in age, but he looks so fit. He did some really awesome moves, jumping off the top rope to the outside of the ring and things like that, but Jericho hitting the win with his top rope Judas effect, which is kind of like an old flying elbow that he used to do back in the day, but I don't know, you tell me. And Jericho would get attacked by the next Labor of Jericho, which is going to be Wardlow. So next week we've got Labor number 4, I think that makes it, Jericho v Wardlow. In a 6-man tag team match, it was Jon Moxley, Eddie Kingston, and Darby Allin defeating Daniel Garcia and his partners, Matt Lee and Jeff Parker, aka Everrise. I'm so happy to see Everrise back on TV again. AEW is signing up a lot of dudes, but I feel like they're making great choices, and Everrise is going to be awesome, comedic jobber kind of character on AEW, just as they were starting to become on NXT. Christian Cage defeated The Blade, Miro defeated Lee Johnson, Layla Hurst defeated The Bunny, and Malachi Black in the main event defeating Cody Rhodes, and then kicking the hell out of Cody Rhodes after the match again. And looks like Cody was trying to retire, so looks like they're going to do the whole, hey, I can't retire now, I need to, avenge my loss or whatever.
Goodbye, mates. Well, I reckon this is it.
Thank you, Outback Jack. It's a bit of a strange Aussie superstar watch this week. We had Rhea Ripley on Raw defeating Nia Jax in a one-on-one match. Rhea won the match with a pinfall so that they could have Nia and Shayna Baszler, squabble after the match. I kind of feel like they wasted the moment of Rhea hitting the Riptide on Nia Jax. I don't know, I just feel like they've kind of built to that. And to my knowledge, I don't think she's hit that move on her. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong. So that felt like a bit of a wasted moment, but this was a bloody match. Nia Jax caught a random boot to the head, and that cut her eye open pretty good. So Bronson Reed, not on NXT this week, and he got released along with 11 other NXT talent. More on that situation in this week's You Gotta Be Joking Me, spoiler alert. And for the second week in a row, still no Toni Storm on SmackDown. I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Why bring her in if you're then just gonna keep her off TV for the next 2 weeks? Seems like a waste of her debut to me. Indy Hartwell, as we mentioned in the results, ringside during the Love Her or Leave Her match. Now she's with Dexter Lumis, so I'm excited to see where that whole storyline is going. Indy has suddenly become a prime player in one of the most entertaining wrestling storylines of today. Grayson Waller was defeated by Leon Ruff on 205 Live. Leon Ruff is another one of these talent that just got fired completely out of nowhere, so I don't know if that was supposed to go somewhere, but Grayson Waller taking another loss. But that's the Aussie Superstar Watch, which means it's time for the news. And the NXT Breakout Tournament first round is over. We've got Carmelo Hayes versus Duke Hudson and Odyssey Jones versus Trey Baxter, which Jones versus Baxter, that's a hell of a mismatch right there. So let's see what's going on here. I feel like Baxter and Jones are both good guys. I think that means we're going to see Duke Hudson go to the final, hopefully win the entire thing, because I think that'd be the perfect bragging right for a character like Duke Hudson to have. So my money is quietly on Duke Hudson for this entire thing. So it's come out in the news that Adam Cole is currently just on a short-term contract extension with WWE. His contract expired in July and they've signed him to a short-term extension that takes him just past SummerSlam. I don't know what's going on here, and I don't know how Adam Cole feels about everything that's going on. He's also really heavily involved in up, up, down, down, which, these days that's going to become a pretty lucrative kind of, thing to be associated with. So I don't know if this means we're going to see Adam Cole just let his contract expire and then leave, or if he's going to re-sign with NXT, but it's a very curious thing to be keeping our eyes on, especially with the mass exodus of talent from WWE recently, which, you know what? Let's get right into it. Let's get into this week's You Gotta Be Joking Me.
You gotta be joking me!
So WWE released another 12 superstars, all from the NXT roster, including Leon Ruff, including Bobby Fish, the first member of the Undisputed Era to be, dismissed from WWE, and Bronson Reed, released from WWE. That's got a lot of people scratching their heads. People on Twitter were absolutely baffled by this. I mean, he's recently been a champion. He just had a main event match with Adam Cole. Everybody loves him. He's got an action figure coming out. He was just scheduled to go up to the main roster. What the hell is going on in WWE? They are walking on such thin ice with their fans by the way they're treating their talent, and I mean, great way to tell everybody, hey, we only care about money. Literally, that's it. These days with social media and, things can get discussed and things can get brought to light. I don't know if that's such a great idea to be that blatant about how little the talent matters to you, in the fact that you're a company that relies on your talent for your product. It seems unbelievably inconsiderate and disrespectful to the talent, the way they're just releasing everybody at the moment. And you know what? If this is the ushering in of a new era of things in WWE and this is all being done for a reason, great. But man, the way this is all being handled is dreadful. But let's have a look at the 47 names released. This is in 2021, so this is not even including the Black Friday releases when COVID hit. That's when these big, bulk releases started happening. But this is who has been released in 2021 alone. Ric Flair, Bray Wyatt, Killian Dane, Kurt Stallion, August Gray, Marina Shafir, the Bollywood Boys, Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Arturo Ruiz, Tony Nese, Arya Daivari, Ever Rise, Braun Strowman, Aleister Black, Buddy Murphy, Lana, Ruby Riott, Santana Garrett, Jessamine Duke, Andrade, Lars Sullivan, Steve Cutler, Samoa Joe, Peyton Royce, Billie Kay, Mickie James, Chelsea Green, Tucker Knight, Kalisto, Bo Dallas, Wesley Blake, Bronson Reed, Bobby Fish, Leon Ruff, Tyler Rust, Jake Atlas, Mercedes Martinez, Asher Hale, Giant Zangier, Zachariah Smith, Kona Reeves, Ari Sterling, and the referee Stephon Smith. 47 releases just in 2021. That is an entire roster. That is main eventers, that is mid-carders, that is, developmental talent, that is referees, that is commentators, that is the whole kit and caboodle. I might even start a people that got released wrestling universe on 2K19 and do some live streams on this channel. Let me know if you'd be in for that. But meanwhile, WWE has still managed to hire Goldberg, Eva Marie, and then on the NXT brand, Drake Maverick and Samoa Joe, presumably to much smaller contracts. So I don't know how I feel about all of this. I wish Joe and Maverick went back to Impact Wrestling, to be completely honest. They actually seem to be having a bit of a resurgence. Impact is. This relationship with AEW has only been a good thing for Impact Wrestling, and now that there's like a whole nother group of people that they can try and get, man, the wrestling landscape is changing rapidly. I can only imagine this is still a setup for WWE to get sold to somebody else. They're just trimming all the fat, and they're trimming primary arteries as well when they're getting rid of people like Bronson Reed, but that's all I can make of this. This is all just a preparation for the sale of the company. So let's see what happens in the next couple of months. But in the meantime, the only words I can find to describe this situation is...
You've got to be joking me.
But that was a whole lot of garbage to get through, so let's try and liven up with some positivity with this week's You Beauty.
You beauty! You beauty!
And it's a double You Beauty this week, both from NXT. First of all, the Love Her or Leave Her match with Johnny Gargano and Dexter Lumis. That was absolutely awesome. It was amazing, cheesy wrestling fun. This whole feud has just been the awesome, goofy heel Gargano being flanked by Austin Theory, Lumis's artwork, the cheesy longing for love from Indy Hartwell. All the teasers throughout the story have been such fun to watch, and this was a really beautiful example of wrestling comedy done right. This storyline has been so much fun, and there have been no weeks where it's been disappointing. It's all been leading up, and now we finally had our big moment in the main event. What more could you ask for? But there is more you can ask for, because this is a double You Beauty.
You beauty! You beauty!
The promo on NXT for Dragunov and Walter, that was unbelievably good. That had a whole other feel to it. I don't know who's responsible for the creative direction of that promo, but they knocked it out of the park. That was so entertaining. It's on YouTube. Definitely go check that out, because yeah, it's got me very keen for Walter versus Dragunov 2. I did watch the first match, and there's that great reaction video of the first match on WWE's YouTube channel for some reason. But yeah, if you haven't seen Walter and Dragunov, go check it out, and definitely check out this video, because it's this week's You Beauty.
Oh, Nakamura has swiped the crown again. Steady Corbin.
And this week's Better Than Baron Corbin goes to Dakota Kai. Baron just had a very quick squash match with Finn Balor. See you later, Baron. Your 1 week of hope completely gone. And Dakota Kai, on the other hand, had that unbelievable, it's a pre-recorded promo, but that promo about why she attacked Raquel Gonzalez and what this meant to her. I just thought Dakota Kai came off as an absolute megastar. It was one of the highlights from NXT. This and the Dragunov Walter promo were both as good as each other. So go check out the Dakota Kai promo if you haven't seen it, because it was definitely better than Baron Corbin.
Let's be real here. Everyone knew who the leader was.
And we got a hell of a Bronson Reed Twitter check-in this week. Wow, I was so happy to see this tweet come out. Bronson tweeted out, just got released from @WWE. This monster is back on the loose. You don't know what you've just done, WWE. At AEW, at Impact Wrestling, at New Japan, at Ring of Honor. I love the balls and the confidence that Bronson is showing in that tweet, saying, you just released me. That was a massive mistake. Hey, everybody else. What's up? Great response from Bronson Reed in this, obviously very upsetting time for him. I'm sure he doesn't want to get released, but the fact that he's got this kind of opportunity now, that is something I'm excited to see play out.
Fellas, what is going on? It is the Loose Ledge, Adam Brooks here, and you are watching World Wrestling Straya. I love that name. Straya.
And it's time for Yeah Nah. This is the weekly segment where you guys ask me questions in the comments. If you use the hashtag Yeah Nah TikTok, you'll go in the draw to win a Karrion Kross and Scarlett set of figures, plus a World Wrestling Straya t-shirt as well. So ask me a wrestling question or leave a wrestling comment, use the hashtag Yeah Nah TikTok, subscribe to the channel, and at the end of September, you might receive a Karrion Kross Scarlett set of figures and the World Wrestling Straya t-shirt. But let's get started with our first one. This is from Patrick Roberts, and I usually write down my answers before I start recording, and I didn't, so let's see how this goes. Patrick wants to know, pick a 5-man Survivor Series team as if your life depended on them. Current superstars only. Alright, so current people currently wrestling. I'm going to go the whole wrestling landscape, not just WWE. Alright, give me, in my Survivor Series dream team, current wrestlers only, Chris Jericho can be the captain. Rey Mysterio. Kevin Owens, because he can take an absolute beating and he's a bit of a daredevil these days. Santos Escobar and Pentagon Jr. So it'd be Jericho, Escobar, Owens, Rey Mysterio, Pentagon. At 5? Yeah, that's 5. That is my Survivor Series dream team. David Miller asks, with Robbie Eagles deservingly hitting it big in Japan and calling out Bryan Danielson as a dream match, is that the match that could make the world take notice of the thriving Aussie wrestling scene that we are currently blessed with? Yeah, I do think so, but I don't think that's just Robbie Eagles that would get that kind of response for having that sort of match. I think there's a few Aussie guys floating around this country and overseas that a match with Bryan Danielson, and it is a huge success, I think that would mean the world for the Aussie wrestling scene in general. In fact, go check out my interview with Adam Brooks, because I talked to him about who would he like to face most in Ring of Honor if they decided to come back, Bryan Danielson or CM Punk. So we have a bit of a conversation about that, but Adam Brooks versus Bryan Danielson, for example, that would be another match that might get people to really start paying more attention to what's going on the Aussie wrestling scene. And that's going to wrap it up this week. Thank you for joining me on World Wrestling Straya, everybody. Don't forget to use the hashtag TikTok. Ask me a question, leave a wrestling comment, subscribe to the channel, and you'll go in the draw to win the Karrion Kross, Scarlett, World Wrestling Straya T-shirt competition drawn at the end of September. Go check out NBA Straya as well if you like your NBA and you like your Straya. Jimmy's got you covered. Even though the finals and the Olympics is almost over, Jimmy still has episodes coming out, so subscribe over there. And also the Wrestling with Figs podcast every 2 weeks. James and Chris talk about collecting from an Aussie perspective and wrestling figures and trading cards and all sorts of stuff. Check out the Figs Down Under Facebook group for more information. So thanks for joining me, everyone. Let's wait and see what happens with Bronson Reed. And as always, everyone, be well, stay safe, look after your friends. See you in the next video. Peace.